So here then, this is a connection to tawakkul, and so this is the third of the steps, the third of the means and the methods, which is at-tawakkulu ala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to place reliance upon Allah Azza wa Jal. Because he said, وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَالِغُ أَمْرِهِ قَدْ جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدَرًا. Whoever places reliance upon Allah, then he will suffice him. Indeed, Allah will reach his affair. He will reach his affair. He will make his affair come to pass. And he has made for everything an appointed time, an appointed duration. Imam Sa'di rahimahullah has some very good speech on this ayah. He says, وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ, whoever places his reliance upon Allah, meaning in the affair of his religion and the affair of the world, in the sense that he depends upon Allah. He depends upon Allah in bringing about what will benefit him and repelling what will harm him. And he trusts in Allah in making this easy for him. فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. So if a believer does this, فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ, meaning that Allah will be sufficient for him for all of his needs. So if you entrust your affair in the care of the one who is Al-Ghani, Al-Qawi, Al-Aziz, Ar-Rahim, the one who, these are his names and these are his qualities, if you entrust these affairs to him, and he is closer to you than every other thing, Allah is closer to you, then inshallah he will give you and bring to you that which is good for you, and in which lies your safety, and in which lies your protection. Now, if you rely upon Allah Azza wa Jal, and such affairs do not come to you, then this simply means that Allah Azza wa Jal is delaying it and postponing it on account of a wisdom that He knows and you do not know. Meaning that sometimes in our affairs, when we take all of the means of reliance and we do everything that we possibly can, and our heart is attached to Allah after we take all of the means, sometimes we may find that whatever we are seeking, either in the religion, which might be an increase in iman, or serenity and things like that, or it might be in the world, in the worldly sense, such as removal from poverty or the curing of an illness and things of that nature. So we take all of the ways and means, but we find that the affair is not coming to pass. Well, in this ayah, Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَالِغُ أَمْرِهِ. Indeed, Allah will reach His affair. Meaning that on some occasions, it is from Allah's wisdom to delay something and not to bring it to you, despite you having taken all of the means, and despite you having, entrusted the affair to Allah. Right? He may delay it for a wisdom that He knows and maybe you do not know or understand. So, like, for example, it could be that you are suffering from an illness. You've taken all of the well-known means that may be known to cure the illness, but your heart is attached to Allah, and perhaps Allah delays the healing or the cure, and perhaps you might pass away. And so this is from Allah's wisdom, in that He knew that had you been cured of the illness and granted you a longer life, then perhaps something may have come to you from His decree, which He would have otherwise decreed, which may have been, to your detriment, to your harm, whether in this life or whether in the next. Perhaps you might have been led to disbelief, wal iyadu billah. Perhaps you might have been misguided away from the sunnah. Perhaps you might have been cured by Allah Azza wa Jal, and then you became ungrateful for that. So, what you wanted from your Lord is delayed from you, and that is for a wisdom that Allah that Allah has. And so, a person passes away and enters into paradise, and his Lord is pleased with him or her. So this is one scenario or one example where, with respect to tawakkul in particular, there are situations where we make tawakkul upon Allah. We take all of the asbab that exist, and then our heart is obviously attached to Allah, not to the asbab, and we still don't get what we want. Well, there are wisdoms in this, and so this ayah addresses this particular scenario. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Whoever relies upon Allah, He is sufficient for him. إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَالِغُ أَمْرِهِ. Indeed, Allah will reach His affair. قَدْ جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدْرًا. Allah has made for every single thing, that which is appointed, that which is due. So nothing will go beyond its time, nothing will precede its time. This is the meaning of this ayah. So from the greatest of the affairs in protection from shaitan is the issue of tawakkul, because Allah Azza wa Jal said, إِنَّهُ لَيْسَ لَهُ سُلْطَانٌ عَلَى الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. That shaitan does not have any authority over those who believe and those who place reliance upon their Lord. As-Sa'di rahimahullah ta'ala, he said regarding this ayah, فَإِنَّ الشَّيْطَانِ لَيْسَ لَهُ سُلْطَانٌ بِمَعْنَى تَسَلُّطٌ, meaning that he cannot empower you, he cannot dominate you and come upon you. عَلَى الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ, meaning these are the people, those who believe and those who upon their Lord alone يَتَوَكَّلُونَ, place their reliance. So Allah Azza wa Jal, فَيَدْفَعُ اللَّهُ عَنِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ الْمُتَوَكِّلِينَ عَلَيْهِ شَرَّ الشَّيْطَانِ وَلَا يُبْقِي لَهُمْ عَلَيْهِمْ سَبِيلٌ. So Allah repels from the believers who are reliant upon Allah the evil of shaitan, and He does not allow any path to remain for the shaitan to come to them. So this then